As you prepare for the real estate license exam, Birdsey is here to help with 68 questions with a specific focus on real estate principles. And pay attention to what's happening in the lower right corner of the screen. We'll tell you why that's important in just a minute. Now let's get started.
Real estate principles. Basic concepts of real estate. What is the primary function of a multiple listing service (MLS) in real estate? Is it A, to mandate commission offers from sellers, B, to facilitate the sharing of property listings among real estate agents, C, to enforce legal agreements between buyers and agents, or D, to provide property appraisal services? The answer is B, to facilitate the sharing of property listings among real estate agents. The Multiple Listing Service, MLS, is a database used by real estate professionals to share information about properties for sale. It promotes cooperation between brokers and agents. Which of the following is considered real property? Is it A, a car parked in the driveway, B, a built-in swimming pool, C, a sofa in the living room, or D, a laptop computer? The answer is B, a built-in swimming pool. Real property includes land and any fixtures or improvements attached to the land, such as buildings, trees, and built-in swimming pools.
Have you noticed the code in the bottom corner? Next time you're stumped, take that code to birdsey.ai for immediate help and a free study session with Birdsey, your personal AI study partner. Plus, you'll get access to hundreds of additional questions, helping you move closer to passing your exam with confidence. The next time you're feeling unsure or stuck, give it a try.
What type of real estate ownership grants the most rights and is the highest form of ownership interest? Is it A, leasehold estate, B, life estate, C, fee simple absolute, or D, easement? The answer is C, fee simple absolute. Fee simple absolute is the most complete form of ownership, granting the owner full rights to use, control, and transfer the property. For a buyer and agent to begin property showings, which of the following is required under recent legislative changes? Is it A, an oral agreement, B, an email confirmation, C, a verbal promise, or D, an explicit written agreement? The answer is D, an explicit written agreement. Due to recent legislative changes, an explicit written agreement between the buyer and the agent is needed before property showings can begin. Which document outlines the relationship and duties between a real estate broker and a client? Is it A, purchase agreement, B, listing agreement, C, deed of trust, or D, home warranty? The answer is B, listing agreement. A listing agreement is a contract between a property owner and a real estate broker that establishes the broker's duties and the terms under which the property will be sold. What defines a fixture in real estate? Is it A, a personal item brought by the homeowner, B, a movable object that is easily taken when leaving the property, C, an item of personal property that has been attached to the property, thus becoming real property, or D, an item that must be removed before the sale of the property? The answer is C, an item of personal property that has been attached to the property, thus becoming real property. A fixture is an item that was once personal property but has been attached to the property in such a way that it becomes real property. What is the distinction between real property and personal property? Is it A, real property includes movable items, while personal property includes buildings and land? B, real property includes land and anything attached to it, while personal property consists of movable items not permanently affixed? C, there is no significant difference between real property and personal property. Or D, real property is less valuable than personal property. The answer is B, Real property includes land and anything attached to it, while personal property consists of movable items not permanently affixed. Real property includes land and everything permanently attached to it, while personal property includes movable items not permanently affixed to the land or buildings. Under recent legislative changes, what must a buyer and their agent do before property showings can begin? Is it A, sign a purchase agreement? B, ensure the property has been listed in the MLS? C, enter into an explicit written agreement outlining their relationship? Or D, have the property appraised by a professional appraiser? The answer is C, enter into an explicit written agreement outlining their relationship. Recent legislative changes mandate an explicit written agreement between buyers and their agents before any property showings to clarify the relationship and duties. What is the primary purpose of zoning laws in real estate? Is it A, to increase property values? B, to control the use of land and buildings? C, to dictate architectural styles? Or D, to manage the age demographics of a neighborhood? The answer is B, to control the use of land and buildings. Zoning laws control the use of land and buildings to ensure efficient land use and prevent conflicts between different types of property usage. Which term is used to describe the rights of landowners to use water from a stream, river, or lake adjacent to their property? Is it A, easement, B, riparian rights, C, littoral rights, or D, mineral rights? The answer is B, riparian rights. Riparian rights refer to the rights of landowners to use water from a stream, river, or lake adjacent to their property for reasonable and beneficial uses. Which of the following is considered an appurtenance in real estate? Is it A, a detached vehicle, B, a built-in swimming pool, C, a temporary fence, or D, unattached home appliances? The answer is B, a built-in swimming pool. An appurtenance is an item that is permanently attached to the land and enhances its utility, such as a built-in swimming pool. Which type of estate provides a person with the highest form of ownership, including absolute control over the land? Is it A, life estate, B, fee simple absolute, C, leasehold estate, or D, fee simple defeasible? The answer is B, fee simple absolute. A fee simple absolute estate is the highest form of property ownership, providing the owner with unrestricted usage and the right to transfer the property. What is a common interest development in real estate? Is it A, a type of zoned area for commercial use, B, a community where individual owners have exclusive rights to their units and shared rights in common areas, C, a government-owned housing development, or D, a form of public housing provided by local municipalities? The answer is B, a community where individual owners have exclusive rights to their units and shared rights in common areas. Common interest developments, CIDs, include properties like condominiums and planned developments where owners have both exclusive rights to individual units and shared interest in common areas. What term is used to describe the gradual physical decline of a property due to natural forces? Is it A, depreciation, B, obsolescence, C, accretion, or D, deterioration? The answer is D, deterioration. Deterioration in real estate refers to the gradual physical decline of a property due to natural forces like weathering or aging.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsey.
Property ownership. Which of the following correctly defines a fee simple estate? Is it A, a temporary ownership of a property, B, an ownership interest with unlimited duration and full ownership rights, C. An ownership interest restricted to the lifetime of the owner. Or D. A leasing right without ownership. The answer is B. An ownership interest with unlimited duration and full ownership rights. Fee simple estate is the highest form of property ownership with full rights and unlimited duration. Under the current legislative changes, what is required of a buyer before property showings? Is it A. Verbal agreement with the agent, B. A non-binding letter of intent, C. Explicit written agreement with the agent, or D. A signed purchase offer? The answer is C. Explicit written agreement with the agent. Legislative changes require buyers to enter into explicit written agreements with their agents before any property showings. What is the primary characteristic of a joint tenancy? Is it A. Ownership can be transferred to heirs upon death, B. Each owner has an equal share and disposes of their interest independently, C. It requires unity of time, title, interest, and possession, or D. It is limited to only two property owners? The answer is C. It requires unity of time, title, interest, and possession. Joint tenancy requires the unity of time, title, interest, and possession, distinguishing it from other forms of property ownership. When a person dies intestate, how is their property typically distributed? Is it A. According to the terms specified in a will, B. Randomly distributed by the probate court, C. To the state if there are no immediate surviving relatives, or D. Equally among friends and acquaintances? The answer is C. To the state if there are no immediate surviving relatives. When someone dies intestate without a will, their property is distributed according to intestate succession laws, potentially escheating to the state if no relatives are found. What type of ownership commonly features undivided interest in a property? Is it A. Tenancy by the entirety, B. Tenants in common, C. Leasehold estate, or D. Common ownership? The answer is B. Tenants in common. Tenants in common feature undivided interest in the property, meaning each owner has a portion of the whole property, even if their shares are unequal. Which form of ownership allows each co-owner to sell or transfer their interest independently without the need for consent from other co-owners? Is it A. Joint tenancy, B. Tenancy in common, C. Community property, or D. Tenancy by the entirety? The answer is B. Tenancy in common. Tenancy in common allows each co-owner to transfer or sell their share independently, offering flexibility that is not found in other forms of co-ownership. What is the characteristic feature of a life estate? Is it A. Ownership lasts as long as the lifetime of the life tenant, B. Ownership can be transferred via inheritance, C. It allows the life tenant to use the property only for residential purposes, or D. Ownership is shared equally among all co-owners? The answer is A. Ownership lasts as long as the lifetime of the life tenant. A life estate grants ownership for the duration of the life tenant's life. It terminates upon their death and cannot be bequeathed to others. Which of the following is not a type of concurrent ownership? Is it A. Tenancy in common, B. Joint tenancy, C. Tenancy by the entirety, or D. Life estate? The answer is D. Life estate. Concurrent ownership involves multiple owners holding title to the property simultaneously, unlike life estates, which are time-dependent ownerships. In the context of property ownership, what does severance refer to? Is it A. The process of detaching a fixture from real property to convert it to personal property, B. The act of creating a joint tenancy, C. Splitting the financial responsibility for a property equally among co-owners, or D. The legal term for property inheritance without a will? The answer is A, the process of detaching a fixture from real property to convert it to personal property. Severance refers to the process of detaching a fixture, thus converting it from real property to personal property. This changes its legal status and ownership rights. What is a defining feature of a condominium ownership? Is it A, entire building is owned by a single entity? B, owners have shared interest in common areas? C, ownership includes land rights beneath the building? Or D, tenants lease units from a managing entity? The answer is B, owners have shared interest in common areas. Condominium ownership consists of individual ownership of units with shared ownership of common areas like lobbies, pools, and other shared facilities. What is required of buyers for property showings under the new legislative changes? Is it A, a verbal agreement with the buyer's agent? B, an explicit written agreement with the buyer's agent? C, proof of a financial pre-approval letter? Or D, a contract with the property seller? The answer is B, an explicit written agreement with the buyer's agent. The new legislative changes in real estate law mandate that buyers and their agents have an explicit written agreement before property showings. Which type of estate provides the fullest rights to property ownership, including the right to sell, lease, and bequeath the property? Is it A, fee simple estate? B, life estate? C, leasehold estate? Or D, tenancy in common? The answer is A, fee simple estate. A fee simple estate is the highest form of property ownership available, providing the owner with extensive rights, including selling, leasing, and bequeathing the property. How is property typically distributed if a person dies without a will under the laws of intestate succession? Is it A, according to the laws of the state where the property is located? B, equally among all living relatives? C, to the nearest living cousin? Or D, held in trust by the state until claimed? The answer is A, according to the laws of the state where the property is located. When a person dies without a will, their property is distributed according to the intestate succession laws of the state where the property is located. In which form of property ownership do co-owners enjoy equal rights and interests, but the death of one owner automatically transfers their interest to the surviving owners? Is it A, joint tenancy? B, tenancy in common? C, community property? Or D, sole ownership? The answer is A, joint tenancy. Joint tenancy is characterized by the right of survivorship, which allows the deceased co-owner's interest to pass directly to the surviving joint tenants.
Don't forget to comment below with your tips, challenges, and thoughts on exam preparation. Your experiences can make a big difference for others.
Types of property. What type of property is classified as real property rather than personal property? Is it A, furniture? B, residential land? C, automobile? Or D, jewelry? The answer is B, residential land. Real property includes immovable items such as land and buildings. It does not include movable items like furniture, automobiles, or jewelry. Which of the following best describes a fee simple estate? Is it A, an estate for a fixed term, usually for years? B, an estate where ownership is inheritable without restrictions? C, an estate subject to certain conditions or restrictions? Or D, an estate held for the duration of someone's life? The answer is B, an estate where ownership is inheritable without restrictions. A fee simple estate is the highest ownership interest possible in real property, with full possessory rights and no time limit or conditions on its inheritance. How is an easement different from a license regarding real property? Is it A, a license grants a permanent right to use land owned by another? B. An easement lasts only as long as the property owner permits. C. An easement is a non-possessory interest, while a license is possessory. Or D. An easement provides a lasting, non-revocable right to use another's land. The answer is D. An easement provides a lasting, non-revocable right to use another's land. An easement is generally a permanent, non-possessory right to use another person's land, while a license is a temporary and revocable permission. What type of property would be classified as a fixture? Is it A. a chandelier permanently installed in a house, B. a freestanding bookshelf, C. a detached garage, or D. a lawnmower stored in the garage? The answer is A. a chandelier permanently installed in a house. Fixtures are items that were originally personal property but are permanently attached to the property and therefore considered part of the real property. Which statement about condominiums is accurate? Is it A. condominium owners have exclusive ownership of the land their unit is on, B. condominium ownership includes a share of common areas, C. condominiums are always leased, not owned, or D. condominium owners cannot sell their units? The answer is B. Condominium ownership includes a share of common areas. Condominium ownership generally includes ownership of an individual unit, as well as an undivided interest in common areas such as lobbies, pools, and hallways. Which of the following is an example of a special use property? Is it A. private residence, B. shopping mall, C. church, or D. farm? The answer is C. church. Special use properties are designed for particular functions and include properties like schools, churches, and cemeteries. What is a distinctive feature of industrial property? Is it A. it is primarily used for manufacturing and storage, B. it is typically used for office spaces, C. it involves residential living spaces, or D. it includes recreational facilities? The answer is A. It is primarily used for manufacturing and storage. Industrial properties include spaces used for manufacturing, production, and storage of goods, distinct from commercial or residential properties. Which property type would typically have a homeowners association, HOA? Is it A. single-family home, B. condominium, C. retail store, or D. vacant land? The answer is B. condominium. Condominiums commonly have homeowners associations, HOAs, to handle communal elements like lobbies, gyms, and exterior spaces. What characterizes real property as opposed to personal property? Is it A. it is movable and temporary, B. it is permanent and immovable, C. it includes cars and boats, or D. it can be transported without altering the item? The answer is B. It is permanent and immovable. Real property is defined as land and any structures attached to it that are permanent and immovable, unlike personal property. How does a cooperative differ from a condominium in terms of ownership? Is it A. in a cooperative, owners own their individual units, B. in a condominium, owners own shares in a corporation, C. in a cooperative, the corporation owns the building and owners buy shares in it, or D. both structures provide individual ownership of real property? The answer is C. In a cooperative, the corporation owns the building and owners buy shares in it. A cooperative involves buying shares in a corporation that owns the building, while a condominium involves owning an individual unit and shared common areas. Which of the following best describes commercial property? Is it A. used for residential living needs, B. used for business activities or commerce, C. used for agricultural activities like farming, or D. used for specialized purposes like schools and parks? The answer is B. used for business activities or commerce. Commercial property is primarily designated for business and commerce activities, such as retail stores, office buildings, and warehouses. It generates investment returns mainly through rent. In real estate, what is a primary characteristic of residential property? Is it A, used exclusively for agricultural purposes? B, intended for human habitation? C, includes factories and production plants? Or D, used for governmental and municipal functions? The answer is B, intended for human habitation. Residential property primarily includes buildings intended for people to live in, such as single-family homes, apartment complexes, and townhouses. These properties are categorized by their primary use for housing. What defines a mixed-use property? Is it A, combines residential and commercial uses? B, used exclusively for industrial purposes? C, designated for governmental and public use? Or D, predominantly used for agricultural purposes? The answer is A, combines residential and commercial uses. Mixed-use properties integrate residential, commercial, and sometimes industrial uses into a single development, enhancing functionality and community interaction within localized environments. Which of the following closely describes industrial property? Is it A, used for human habitation and residential purposes? B, used for educational and community services? C, used for manufacturing, storage, and distribution? Or D, used for agricultural development and crop production? The answer is C, used for manufacturing, storage, and distribution. Industrial property encompasses buildings used for manufacturing, processing, warehousing, and distribution. These properties are designed to support industrial activities and operations. Real versus personal property. Which of the following best describes personal property in real estate? Is it A, items that are immovable and form part of the land? B, items that can be easily moved and are not attached permanently to the property? C, items that are used in the construction of the property? Or D, rights associated with the ownership of land? The answer is B, items that can be easily moved and are not attached permanently to the property. Personal property includes items that are movable and not permanently attached to the land or buildings. Examples include furniture, appliances, and vehicles. What is an example of a fixture in real estate? Is it A, a dining room table? B, a built-in dishwasher? C, a lawnmower? Or D, outdoor patio furniture? The answer is B, a built-in dishwasher. Fixtures are items that were once personal property but are now attached to the property in such a way that they are considered part of the real estate. Examples include built-in appliances. Under what circumstances would a custom shelving unit be considered real property? Is it A, when it is specifically designed for a space and installed permanently? B, when it can be easily removed from the property? C, when it is part of a home office setup? Or D, when it comes pre-assembled from a retailer? The answer is A, when it is specifically designed for a space and installed permanently. Shelving units become real property when they are specifically designed for a certain space and permanently installed, making them fixtures and part of the real estate. How is a trade fixture different from a regular fixture? Is it A, trade fixtures are items that cannot be removed by the tenant? B, trade fixtures are installed for business purposes and can be removed by the tenant? C, trade fixtures become the landlord's property once installed? Or D, trade fixtures are always considered real property? The answer is B, trade fixtures are installed for business purposes and can be removed by the tenant. Trade fixtures are items used in business operations installed by a tenant and can be removed when the lease ends. These items do not become real property. Which of the following items would most likely be considered real property? Is it A, a set of patio chairs, B, a central air conditioning unit, C, a portable generator, or D, a swimming pool cover? The answer is B, a central air conditioning unit. Real property includes items permanently attached to the land or structures, such as a central air conditioning unit, which becomes part of the property. Which of the following best describes the concept of a fixture in real estate? Is it A, a movable item that can be quickly removed, B, a tangible object that can be easily replaced, C, an item that has been permanently attached to the land or building, or D, a type of financial investment in real estate? The answer is C, an item that has been permanently attached to the land or building. Fixtures are items that were originally personal property but have been attached to real estate and become part of the real property. Examples include a built-in oven or a chandelier. In the context of real estate, which term is used to describe personal property that can be removed without damaging the property? Is it A, trade fixtures, B, emblements, C, real property, or D, fixtures? The answer is B, emblements. Emblements refer to growing crops that are produced annually through labor and can be removed by the tenant, whereas fixtures and real property items are more permanently attached. Which factor is generally used to determine whether an item is real property or personal property? Is it A, the price of the item, B, whether the item is tangible or intangible, C, the method of attachment to the property, or D, the age of the item? The answer is C, the method of attachment to the property. The method of attachment helps determine whether an item is considered real property, permanently attached, or personal property, movable and not permanently attached. Which item would not typically be considered real property in a real estate transaction? Is it A, a built-in dishwasher, B, a garden statue cemented into the ground, C, an above-ground pool that is easily removable, or D, a furnace? The answer is C, an above-ground pool that is easily removable. An above-ground pool that can be removed without damage is considered personal property. Built-in or attached items like a furnace or a built-in dishwasher are real property. In determining whether an item is a fixture or personal property, which of the following is examined? Is it A, the intention of the party placing the item, B, the color of the item, C, the cost of the item, or D, the weight of the item? The answer is A, the intention of the party placing the item. The intention of the party placing the item, along with how it is attached and its adaptation to the property, are key factors in determining whether it is a fixture or personal property. What is the primary distinction between real property and personal property? Is it A, real property is movable while personal property is immovable, B, real property includes land and structures permanently attached, whereas personal property consists of movable items, C, real property refers to tangible items, whereas personal property refers to intangible items, or D, real property pertains only to land, and personal property includes all household items? The answer is B, real property includes land and structures permanently attached, whereas personal property consists of movable items. Real property is immovable and includes land and anything permanently affixed to it, whereas personal property is movable and not permanently attached to land. In a real estate transaction, which of the following would typically be classified as real property? Is it A, a patio furniture set, B, built-in kitchen cabinetry, C, a freestanding refrigerator, or D? The answer is B, built-in kitchen cabinetry. Built-in kitchen cabinetry is considered real property because it is permanently attached and would typically be sold with the house. Which factor is most important in determining whether a garden shed is classified as real property or personal property? Is it A, whether the shed can be moved without damage, B, the age of the shed, C, the number of windows in the shed, or D, the materials used to build the shed? The answer is A, whether the shed can be moved without damage. The classification of a garden shed as real or personal property hinges on whether it can be moved without causing damage, which indicates its degree of attachment to the land.
Notice the code in the corner. When you're stumped by a question, enter it at birdsey.ai for immediate help. Enjoy complimentary study sessions and access to hundreds of additional questions to help you pass your exam with confidence.
Legal descriptions. Which of the following is the most commonly used method for legal property descriptions in urban areas? Is it A, meets and bounds, B, lot and block, C, rectangular survey system, or D, street address? The answer is B, lot and block. The lot and block system, also known as the recorded plat method, is most frequently used in urban and suburban areas. It refers to a specific plot within a subdivision. What type of legal description uses a principal meridian, baseline, townships, and ranges? Is it A, meets and bounds, B, rectangular survey system, C, lot and block, or D, street address? The answer is B, rectangular survey system. The rectangular survey system, also known as the Public Land Survey System, PLSS, divides land into a grid using principal meridians and baselines, further subdivided into townships and ranges. Why is a legal description necessary in real estate transactions? Is it A, to determine the price of the property, B, to ensure the exact boundaries and location of the property are identified, C, to describe the architectural design of buildings on the property, or D, to comply with HOA regulations? The answer is B, to ensure the exact boundaries and location of the property are identified. A legal description is crucial in real estate transactions to ensure that the exact boundaries and locations of the property are identified, providing clarity and avoiding disputes between parties. Which legal description method begins with a point of beginning B? Is it A, rectangular survey system, B, lot and block, C, meets and bounds, or D, street address? The answer is C, meets and bounds. The meets and bounds method begins with a point of beginning, POB, and uses distances and compass directions to define property boundaries, often returning to the POB for closure. In legal descriptions, what is the significance of a recorded plat? Is it A, it provides a pricing reference for the property, B, it is used to outline the architectural features of the property, C, it depicts the subdivision of land into lots and blocks, or D, it is used primarily for rural properties? The answer is C, it depicts the subdivision of land into lots and blocks. A recorded plat is significant because it maps out the subdivision of land into lots and blocks, which are referenced in legal descriptions under the lot and block system. What is the primary purpose of a legal property description? Is it A, to ensure the right property is being transferred, B, to specify property taxes owed, C, to describe the building materials used, or D, to determine property insurance rates? The answer is A, to ensure the right property is being transferred. A legal description ensures clear identification of the property in real estate transactions to avoid disputes and errors. Which type of legal description uses lot and block numbers as references? Is it A, meets and bounds, B, government survey system, C, lot and block method, or D, rectangular survey system? The answer is C, lot and block method. The lot and block method describes properties within a recorded subdivision plat using lot numbers and block names. In what context is the government survey system mainly used? Is it A, subdividing urban property, B, surveying large tracts of rural land, C, describing condominium units, or D, identifying historical landmarks? The answer is B, surveying large tracts of rural land. The government survey system is used for surveying and describing large tracts of land, especially in rural and undeveloped areas. Which of the following best describes a rectangular survey system? Is it A, a description that relies on a point of beginning, B, a grid system using townships, ranges, and sections, C, a method using lot and block numbers, or D, a precise system relying on GPS coordinates? The answer is B, a grid system using townships, ranges, and sections. The rectangular survey system divides land into townships, ranges, and sections, forming a grid pattern for clear property description. What is the main advantage of using a recorded plat in urban real estate? Is it A, offers more detailed descriptions of the landscape, B, simplifies legal descriptions within subdivisions, C, reduces property taxes, or D, eliminates the need for property titles? The answer is B, simplifies legal descriptions within subdivisions. Recorded plats simplify legal descriptions by using a systematic approach with lot and block numbers, making identification and transaction processes easier. Which legal description method involves describing a property with a series of distances and angles starting from a specific point? Is it A, meets and bounds, B, lot and block, C, public land survey system, or D, rectangular survey system? The answer is A, meets and bounds. The meets and bounds system uses physical features, distances, and angles to describe property boundaries starting from a known point of reference. In a meets and bounds legal description, what does the term point of beginning refer to? Is it A, the exact center of the property, B, the initial point where the property survey begins and ends, C, the highest point on the property, or D, a government-established marker? The answer is B, the initial point where the property survey begins and ends. The point of beginning is the starting point in a meets and bounds description, which is also the point the survey must return to for closure. What is the main reason a legal property description must be precise in real estate transactions? Is it A, to determine property value accurately, B, to ensure there are no disputes over property boundaries, C, to assist in accurate tax assessments, or D, to improve ease of property marketing? The answer is B, to ensure there are no disputes over property boundaries. Precise legal descriptions are crucial to prevent disputes over property boundaries and to ensure clear and enforceable real estate transactions.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, tips, and tricks. And don't forget to visit birdsey.ai for complimentary study sessions with Birdsey, your AI-powered study partner.